We've been doing a lot more video recently, and we have one piece of stock background music that we've been using for everything, and we started looking around for something else, and then we thought, well, hey, we're all musicians and we know how to record, so why don't we make our own background music? We also, at the same time, realized, oh, well, we also have a mic preamp we could record everything with, so let's book a day at Jesse's studio and record a bunch of stuff through our CP5s.
We got together and jammed for a little bit, and then the first thing we did was like this really cool, chill crowd rock thing. And lo and behold, that was, everyone was feeling it. And then next week came back, recorded it, ran like each of the drum mics through a CP5 and a different color.
On the day of recording, we came in and we set up the drums first. We tracked all of them to a click. We tracked a few different sections of the same style of thing that we could kind of piece together and use as like a modular piece of music. So once everything was down to a click and dialed in with the colors, we then ended up tracking everything outside of that live. We did guitar, bass, and a synth line, and we all crowded around the speakers and just played to the drums.
To me, the recording process is all about flow and momentum, and Brian Eno called it idiot glee, which I think is a great way to put it. Like, the best creative state for him, and this is what I aim for too, is like when you're jumping from one thing to another in the studio and you're like, oh, that was a cool sound, oh, that was awesome, that works with this, until you've got this like idiot, like almost like drooling, gleeful face on where things are just happening and you're just doing it without any impediment. I always start from, okay, well, how can we engender that kind of flow and not get in the way? That's where I come from when designing stuff.
We stayed fairly down the road when it comes to mics. We used a 57 on snare drum, C414 BULS under the snare, an Electro Voice RE20 on the kick, and then for overheads we used a pair of Neumann KM84s. So we kind of used the CP5s initially just totally clean and kept the colors out and just got good levels and got our mic positioning down.
One of the big idiot glee moments of this session was getting all the levels with the drums. I think we were doing 6 mics all through the CP5s. And so we got the levels with no colors, and then Jesse just went through and engaged the colors one by one and dialed them in. And all of a sudden we had this really exciting drum sound that was just really inspiring. It made the takes better because I had them in my monitors. Big thing was the 15 ips on the kick. It's just this like tape bump, low end bump and squish.
The snare top was the Rogue Tech Air. The bottom snare, the 414 was going through the Distorta Studio. For me, the bottom snare is often kind of like a secondary thing. It's nice to have, but if you don't have a bottom snare mic, it's not the end of the world. This actually ended up being, I think, one of the most important mics in the kit. The snare sound, it just like instantly came together once the Distorta Studio was engaged. We kept the overheads clean, just kind of for reference and to keep things even. The room mic we used Flea 47, and we put it a fair distance away.
The tone lock on the room mics, which is like this really weird variable release, old school like public address compressor, it just trashed the room mic in a really exciting and really inspiring way.
It was wild how immediately good it sounded. I've recorded drums for my bands and whatever, and you record it and you're like, I hope this is the sound of a promising beginning, but this was totally different. It was very immediate and it just had a great thickness to it.
I started the company with just the simple goal of making the world of DIY audio, at least letting people know about it and making it accessible. And I really feel strongly that DIY is a great pursuit for anybody making music because you learn more about the tools you're using, you can learn how to fix them, you get this amazing sense of satisfaction when you make a beautiful sound with something you've built. So my goal is really simple, which is just for everybody who has an audio interface or a mixer to also have a soldering iron and know how to use it and to build stuff with it if they want to.